Hey guys, I'm Danielle and this is Bookchara and you are watching my very first TBR game of 2023. This is Getting Away with Murder, the January edition. So, first, first, let's talk about the books that I did read in December. There were 4 books from my previous TBR game. 3 of those books are in the case file. I read The Woods by Harlan Coben. This was my clue card pick from last month. I did read this. I read it probably primarily on audiobook, but then picked up the physical book toward the end and actually found that I sped through much faster with the physical book. Really great writing. This was my first Harlan Coben, and it will not be my last. I gave this 5 stars. I also read Unholy by Neal Shusterman. This was the book that I had been meaning to get to all year. This is book 2 in the Unwind dystology. I was a little bit disappointed. I only gave this one 3 stars. It did not hold up to how much I enjoyed the first book. However, I will be continuing the series because there's definitely potential there. This one just didn't hit with me like the first one did. For my Shelf Destruct book, I read Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This book. I love it so much. I love this book so much. I knew I loved Marissa Meyer's writing. I knew I loved the Lunar Chronicles. This is a standalone, kind of like the untold story of the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland. You guys, this book, 5 stars. This is like going on my favorites shelf. Okay, a book that I read that was not on my Getting Away with Murder TBR for December was Running Mate by Leah Brunner. This was a rom-com. I think you can consider it a rom-com. It was a marriage of convenience type book where the guy was running for Congress and he needed a wife so that he would look better. And then the girl had just moved from DC to Kansas. It happens in Kansas, to take care of her elderly parents. They're in like a money type bind. I meant to say that she had previously worked for like campaign political type things. And anyway, she needs money, and so yeah, you probably can guess how it ends. But it was really, really great. I really enjoyed it. I gave that one 5 stars. So that doesn't help me with my game, but it was good. I did read that for Reindeer Readathon. I think it was the dancer prompt, and then it was also an ebook, so I got some bonus points for that. Awesome. The book I did not get to this month was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, so we shall see if this is in the case file. Yeah, I mean, because I played as Miss Peacock last month, I get an extra week to finish this if I choose to do that, or I can take it as a punishment, and I'm probably going to take it as a punishment because I already have 3 books on my TBR for January for Whodunit Readathon, and I will tell you what those are, so you can be watching for those to pop up during the game. It is going to give me motivation to pick up, I think I figured, the Lead Pipe, the Dagger, and the Wrench. So we've got 1 in each of those 3 genres, so that should be fun. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and mention those books real quick, and then we'll look in the case file. So I won't talk about these a whole lot, but for Whodunit Readathon, I am trying to get the Reading List by Sarah Nisha Adams on this TBR. I am also trying to get The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell on this TBR. And then finally, I am trying to get The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes on this TBR. So, moment of truth. Let's look in the case file. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't know why. Okay. The first book is The Woods by Harlan Coben. We are good to go there. I'm so glad I read that book. It's I mentioned this before, but it's been on my TBR forever. We also have, oh my gosh, Heartless by Marissa Meyer. And finally, Be Unholy, Be Unholy. Oh my gosh. Unholy by Neil Shusterman. You guys, I got away with murder. Man, that's freaking awesome. What a way to start the year. So cool. So I don't have to add a book. Let me look real quick and see how many full weeks are in January. I meant to double check that before I started this video. Okay, so yes, it is 4 full weeks in January. So I will be choosing 4 books for my TBR game, and we'll see how many of my Whodunit Readathon books I can get on there. I've got the board set up, so let me rearrange the camera and we'll play. Okay, I think that's as good as we're getting. I know there's a little bit of a glare, but we need the daylight, so we're gonna roll with it. Speaking of rolling with it, I need to roll to see who I'm playing as. Oh, and there's that. 3. Okay, so I rolled 3. I will be playing as Dr. Orchid, aka Arsenal. You want to stay on her good side. Her special skill is that she can collect a weapon on the first pass, so I don't have to re-enter the room. And then, as my rules have been amended, we know that I can choose any book in that coordinating genre. So, like I mentioned before, I am definitely aiming for the lead pipe, which would be anything in the contemporary and or historical fiction genre. That would count. I could read the reading list for that. The wrench is sci-fi fantasy, so with that I could read The Sparrow, and then the dagger is mystery, thriller, suspense, and for that one I could read the Inheritance games. So, oh my gosh. I don't know why I'm so excited. Okay. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I didn't mention anything about the clue cards. I guess it'll be a surprise, guys. Okay, 5. Ooh, and there's the wrench. Oh, geez. Okay, this is going to factor in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, gosh. And 8. 1, 2. Okay. I never really thought about how I would do this if I could pick up the weapon on the first pass. Let's just do that. Oh, gosh. Okay. I need to rethink my rules for these special instances. So I got the wrench. That is going to count as my sci-fi fantasy. So spoiler for that one, I will be reading The Sparrow. Okay, I'm going to roll again. I can choose to stay or I can choose to use the secret passage. If I get a clue symbol, then that trumps the prompt card. Okay, so I got 7. I think I am going to choose to stay and look at this card. Oh, read a classic. Okay. Nine. I am going to, what am I going to do? Head for the lead pipe? I think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 8. 1, 2. Okay. Lead pipe was contemporary and or historical fiction. For that one, I will be reading the reading list. And oh, there it is. Okay, my fourth book will be, oh my gosh, The Inheritance Games. You guys, what the heck? I should go play the lottery or something. Okay, awesome. Do you remember that time I thought I was recording the end to this video, but I wasn't actually recording? That just happened. But it worked out because I actually forgot to draw for the case file the first time, so it's all good. Anyway, typically I kind of pop in after each roll and tell you what book I am reading. But since this month was so cut and dry, I didn't have a whole lot of choices to make behind the scenes. I am just going to recap right now. So for the wrench, I will be reading The Sparrow by Mary Doria Russell. This will count toward Whodunit Readathon for Mrs. Peacock, The Wrench, and The Study. For my classic book, you guys didn't know this, but when I created my prompt cards for this month, I incorporated some having to do with the new year and some having to do with January being my daughter's birthday month. And so I think I'm still gonna run with that thought. For my classic book, I will be reading The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton. This was gifted to me by Amy Bowman, and my daughter, who is a non-reader, has insisted that I read this book. So this is going on the TBR for January. Perfect opportunity to read that. For the lead pipe, I will be reading The Reading List by Sarah Nisha Adams. This counts for Whodunit Readathon as Colonel Mustard, the rope, and the library. And then finally, for my clue card, I drew The Inheritance Games by Sarah. Why do I want to say Sarah? Oh, because there was another Sarah. Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This will count for Whodunit Readathon as Mr. Green, either the candlestick or the dagger, and then also the billiard room. And just to refresh your mind about the clue cards, there were 4 books in there that had been chosen randomly from my unread TBR, and then 5 books in there that were TBR hopefuls. And so I lucked out again. I don't know that this will ever happen again. I'm pleased, but I almost kind of feel like I cheated. Even though I didn't cheat. So I had to come back and fess up to something because I did feel like I cheated, and I kind of did on accident. So there was a little like caveat with Dr. Orchid's special ability, and I was supposed to only be able to pick up the weapon on the first pass 1 time during the game. And as you have seen, I did that twice. So to make myself feel better, I went back and looked at the prompt card that was in the room where I picked up the lead pipe. And you guys, my luck continues because this was the prompt card that was in that room. And it is gifted book, as you have seen. And this book was gifted to me by Amy at A Star Reads. So even with my accidental cheating, I still would have wound up with these, or without my accidental cheating, I still would have wound up with these books. So anyway, I have come clean, and now we are going to draw our 3 books for the case file. Those are the books. I said this last month. I'm like, oh, four is totally doable. And I did read 4, but it's just like when you get in those mood reads, like I was not up for Strange the Dreamer in December. So hopefully I can get these 4 done. 2 and 3. Okay. Let me grab the case file. So these 3 books are going in here. No looking until I film my next TBR game. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please let me know down in the comments what you are looking forward to kicking off this new year as far as like, you know, what you're reading. What are you reading in January? Are you participating in Whodunit Readathon? Are you mad at me because I was lucky this round? Anyway, I don't know. I'll see you guys very soon with a new video. Bye.